you doing?
You need to make that bigger and put it on your head.
Well, I told you that when I originally made this, right? I said so 3D printers like go in millimeters. They don't necessarily go in inches. So in all of your programs are done in millimeters. Apparently that's like the smarter way of doing things, unless you're me. And then it's not the smarter way of doing things. So I have to constantly use Google to convert millimeters into inches. I know that I should probably know this in my head, like what the conversion rate is, but I have to constantly use Google to figure it out. And so when I made this, right, I honestly thought that this thing, I mean, look at it. I mean, look at the
Oh, it's
size of
perfect. It's
so
great.
so I honestly thought when I was making this thing that this was big enough that it was going to go on my head. I mean, God's to honest, as it's printing, I'm like, hey, according to the measurements, it's this far this way, this far. I might have tried to like convert this part by myself though. So
Yeah.
that might have been the problem. I converted this part on Google,
Hmm.
and then this part I was like, oh yeah, that should be blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't. I mean, so it is a lot of my fault, but the thing's still really cool, man.
I think
Still
it's cool
really
as
cool.
hell.
So you know what it is, right?
Well, it's from Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a chew bone mask. It's
I
a
don't remember what that character. I remember from the movie. I did watch the Pokemon movie. I actually have it on Apple TV. Don't judge. But yeah, I do remember it from that.
yeah. So it's the chew bone mask. I could take it another step, right? And so I have this it would kind of be used for automotive, so it's like a filler spray. So I could take and put a filler spray on it and then sand it off and then go to like a bone. I could do it like an all bone look to give it that like real bony look to it. That would make it like one step further. I could take it there, but I don't know that I'm taking this one there. I think I'm going to take your advice, what we were talking about backstage, and I'm going to put it on a shelf and I'll put a light under it, a
Yeah,
color, maybe like a red or a blue or something under it to give it like this really like hot, like look. I'm
I
gonna do
think that would
something
look
like
pretty
that.
awesome.
It's something like did Zach said. Let's be honest, he has a huge head. Come on, man.
That
Come
that
on, man.
that is very well possible.
So what's been going on this week? What you up to?
Nothing, man. Nothing. Just trying to get it back into school, into the swing of school stuff. A lot of reading this semester because it's economics. But I mean, other than that, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people have noticed I haven't actually posted anything in probably a week. I haven't really been in the posting, and not to say I'm not in the posting mood, just have other things on my mind between work and you know some other health stuff that I'm trying to work on and stuff like that. But just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I mean it happens.
Again, I kind of post when I want, and I'm not really like because like I said I want to enjoy it. I will be filming this weekend. We are going to Epcot on Sunday because we got a preview for the new Moana area over at Epcot. So kind of excited about that. I know there's lots of videos up on YouTube about it already. I refuse to watch any because I kind of want a little bit of surprise. My daughter's watched a whole bunch already and she's excited, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't put a whole bunch of like um I don't put a whole lot of emphasis in the videos other people make anyways. And I'm like you, I kind of stay away from things when I'm gonna go see it myself or if I'm gonna open it myself, I try and
Yeah,
like stay away from people doing it until at least until I have it done.
try to
Um
avoid it.
and you know me, I'm gonna get on to you for not like being consistent in your videos because you got to like find that balance again. Not because I think that like for YouTube, right? Let's not get that. Let's take that out of it. It's not for YouTube. It's because you enjoy filming. So I'm going to be the person that's going to get on to you for that a little
Well,
bit.
here's my thing. I really have to be honest with you. Anyone that can always freely ask me. I mean, I'm an open book for the most part, but I like doing studio stuff. It's easy. It's a lot more fun. I stopped doing. I think I said this last week or the week before. I stopped doing news. Not for the sole purpose of I don't enjoy it because there is a lot of news coming up. In fact, they just talked about did the special about the Disney treasure, which really was anticlimactic. But they've got the D23 Expo No, sorry, the Destination D23 event coming on this weekend. So there's going to be a lot of big news. But I've gotten into it because I'm not a journalist. Um, I like
Right.
try to see the benefits and the pluses of everything. And I think after doing the news for so long, even the 6 months I was doing, I started to realize, man, everybody likes to be negative. Everyone wants to put out that negativity and stuff. And sometimes that's the only news there is. I get that. But it's also for views and clicks and stuff like that. And I don't want to be a part of that, if that makes any sense. So, I may start bringing up news more in a TikTok type of form, and go that route. As far as YouTube goes, I agree with you. I need to eventually find a balance between, life, family, work, school, to be able to get out and film. I get out and film when the family's, involved, but I do feel that sometimes I can't I can't be as creative because at the time of filming, I'm thinking about filming and spending time with the family at the same time. So, I do have to at some point try to find a way maybe to skip out to the parks for an hour or two, maybe even by myself, do a little filming of some sort of, because I think when I'm just by myself, I do find it like I don't want to use the word more creative, but I find myself more focused.
Right, right. And you told me you had these like really awesome ideas that you were going to do that had nothing to do with news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so and I don't necessarily think you have to like. I think some of the stuff that we were talking about last week. I think that that's probably a better route than the news, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that it'll be more entertaining. I think that more people would want to see it. I also think that it would be what do I like to call it a evergreen material. So
Yeah.
I like evergreen videos. You know what evergreen videos are. And if you
Mhm.
don't know what an evergreen video is, it's a video that will always get clicks.
Yeah.
Like it won't never not get clicks. I love evergreen content, and a lot of the content we were talking about last week would be evergreen content. I mean, it would be stuff people would forever click on versus you click on it for one day and then you never click on it again, right?
Yeah. And I think the hard part too is I have to rethink also what I'm doing with Disney. I love being at Disney, but I like to be able to bring those reviews, those concepts of why I like Disney. And to be honest with you, a lot of it in the past has had to be based around food, restaurants, snacks in the park, stuff like that. However, a lot of you guys don't know. Wayne's probably one of the few that actually know, but I am when I talk about I'm focusing on some of my health and no chase, it's not balding, by the way. But I'm actually in the process of going through what they call bariatric surgery, which is weight loss type surgery. And we'll be doing that later this month. So don't think I didn't think of this as an opportunity at the same time because I've gone on to YouTube and there's not a whole lot of stuff up there about the bariatric journey. So, do I think I'll probably bring up something even about the whole process that I go through? Yes. Whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, but there's also an advantage here because I can try to harness and figure out. Now I just got to figure this part out of, when you go through that type of surgery, um, as you've had people gone through that situation, you can't eat a lot. There's not a lot of things that you
No.
can eat and things like that. But you don't want, but people like that still can't eat that way, still want to be able to take their families to the parks, stuff like that. So I say that there's a great opportunity here for me to figure out how people can still enjoy Disney on a bariatric diet.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, 100%, man. I mean, anything you come up with is going to be good content. Anything that you come up with is going to be good content. I'm sure of it. Let's hit that chat up real quick, though. I see that we got a few people that's been hanging out. Let's say hey to them real quick, and then we'll kind of go over some of the stuff we're going to talk about. Some of the stuff is not Funko related. I've warned everybody months ago that not everything we talk about is going to be Funko
Yeah,
related
because
going
we
forward.
kind of enjoy more overall pop culture, a lot of things
Right.
of
So
that
it's
nature.
gonna
So
be kind of what's trending now, pop culture, th things like that. So
now,
so
before I hit up that chat, I just noticed something today that I don't know if you've noticed, and I don't know. You and I still got to talk outside of the show to see what we want to do. But did you realize that Halloween is on a Tuesday this
Oh man,
year.
I was about to say somebody called me out. I was like, thank God. I've been waiting on this. Halloween's on a what?
It's on a Tuesday, which
Oh,
is our night of our
yeah,
shows.
so we'll have to do something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have to do
So we'll
something.
have to
Sure.
see because of course,
Sure, we'll have to do something.
in my neighborhood, we always do something outside, stuff like that. We don't wait at the doors. But in my neighborhood, a lot of people set up tables out on the driveway and
Right.
give out candy that way. Um, so I don't know. I'll have to do something into that realm. But hey, wait, is that actually starting to show up now?
Yeah, it did show up. I was just about floored when I seen it show up in both locations,
That
because
means StreamYard finally fixed that.
I monitor the chat as well, so it popped up there before it popped up in the chat, and I was just kind of really floored. Chase, we truly appreciate you, brother.
And
Truly,
what we're
truly
talking
appreciate
about
you.
is for the longest time, these member, shows how long you've been a member for. We never saw them in the chats of
No,
StreamYard, which is who we stream through, and then StreamYard eventually puts it onto YouTube. And we never saw them, so we were missing out on a lot of this. So it looks like StreamYard finally fixed that. So good
looks
job,
like they
StreamYard.
finally fixed it. Let's hit that chat up real quick.
All right. So first in the chat, we had Zach Bonner for what's going on, buddy. Appreciate you stopping by. We have our good friend Chase's Kingdom. Hails to the Kingdom. What's
Chase,
going
what's
on,
going
man?
on, brother?
We've got Kenneth Bird, and I think that's all we got because, of course, it's on my channel this week, so nobody really watches, so it's okay.
That's not true. That is not true. Kenneth, what is going on, brother? Chase, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I seen that we had Zach. We had a few other people that kind of popped in there real quick and then popped back out. I'm sure that they're going to be back here shortly.
Either way,
So the first lady has COVID. Did you know that?
no.
That is like trending right now in the news. And no matter how you feel, don't put anything stupid in the comments and make me like put you in timeout. The first lady, the first lady has tested positive with COVID today. I mean, today was her tested positive. So thinking of this, do you think that we're about to see like COVID restrictions again?
I don't.
No.
No, I really don't. I mean, we've at my work, and I'm not going to tell anybody where I work, but at my work, we had some guys recently, have COVID and have to be out. And I turned to my boss and said, "Hey, what's our COVID protocols now?" Because in the past, it used to be you had to be out for a certain amount of time, blah, blah, blah. And he turned to me and goes, "When you feel better, you come to work."
That's good.
Like,
I'm with it.
awesome.
I'm with it. So, anyways, I wanted to point that out to everybody just to let them know if the first lady has COVID, then that means the president's going to have COVID because the president's been around the first lady. All of that's kind of starting to unfold right now. It's trending on Google at this minute. No matter how you feel about a person, it's not a fun thing to have. I had it a couple of times. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So let's like fingers crossed and all that good stuff that nobody and nothing happens from that. No more restrictions. VHS. So Funko launched a huge line of VHS lately.
And nobody's touching it.
Did you see that well, so check this out. They're going to have their very first, listen to me, their very first VHS to sell out is going to be, check this out. See, I wanted to bring this up because I knew no one was going to believe me. Everybody, Chase is already dropping the comments over there with the pukey face. Look, the very first VHS sold out on the Funko site. I was really shocked that it sold out, but it was the Back to the Future Marty McFly. So I kind of understand.
Here's the only thing that I think most people get. People like me, of course, Back to the Future has a cult following. I am a big Back to the Future fan. Love the pop culture of everything about Back to the Future. And yes, I am the type where if I see a Back to the Future item, I will pick it up. Now, with this VHS, if I saw it in the stores, would I buy it? Yes. Would I ever open it? Absolutely not. All I want it for is that front piece, just like it is right there. That's all I want it for.
I would want it for the front piece if it was bigger than this. The problem is that it's not bigger than this. so that's the problem. If it wasn't for that, I would have been 100% a fan of this. If they would have been the normal size of a VHS, and the VHS were pretty big, if y'all remember, and if you're from that era, you do remember. VHS weren't small. They were
well, I mean, it's a size. Here, I have one.
They were not small, and these things are the tiniest of tiny things. It almost disappears in your hand.
Here's a VHS.
Yes, that thing is not small.
In
They're a quarter of
comparison to
that.
my phone, it's
Well,
about almost.
they're a quarter of that. So they you can't like you just can't.
And don't forget this.
That's right. That's
Watch me.
exactly true too, Chase. That is exactly true. It's so basic that I can make it in the basement. Yes, I can make them in my basement is how basic these things are. But I can't get over the size of them. But this is going to be, check me out, the first one that's going to sell out. So we look, check this out. We got to talk about this first. I mean, we got to talk about the very first one of these guys that sold out, and this is it. Now we know that it's not going to stay sold out though, right? I mean, it's obvious that they're going to restock it again. It's not a limited piece run. None of the VHS, I believe, are a limited piece run, but it's cool that it sold out nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, it's cool that they had one of them sell out. They only had to drop like 30 different kinds to have one of them that sold out. So it's cool, and we all know that it's kind of cheesy. The figures on the inside are stupid. I mean, they all kind of look the same is the problem. I mean, they all have the same like stupid, dead, soulless look to them, which is kind of the problem. And you can't really tell them apart. I mean, you start to wonder like which one is which. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that one of them had sold out.
Now, can we talk about one thing that's not actually Funko real quick?
What's that? What you got?
I actually just bring up the front page of it. I'm not going to go into it, but I'll bring up the front page of this thing real quick. Because if you're like me and you went around to a couple places, you did not find any Disney Lorcana.
Man, I was going to talk about this later. So I didn't find them either.
I went to a couple different places, all sold out. Mind you, it's the first day of big box stores. Have checked, and I had the opportunity to buy some of the starter packs from Shop Disney, but I just didn't want to pay that shipping cost. So I figure I'll go around, but of course now they're completely sold out on Shop Disney. But these things are hot, dude. Ravensburg, there's card shops already doing Lorcana tournaments.
All right, everywhere. So I was going to go over this somewhat later, but we'll do it now. Sorry. I didn't get them. They didn't happen up north. None of didn't see them at Target, didn't see them at Walmart, didn't see them at GameStop. I didn't see them at Best Buy. None of the places received them. I mean, GameStop and Target actually even went to their little devices. They had, they could check their inventory. They didn't even have them like in order, so they didn't even think that they were coming. Period. I was a little shocked that nobody had seen them, and that nobody knew if they were coming. I think that we will eventually get it, but for some reason there's a slow trickle of them coming my way, but they are super hot.
Now, if Lorcana, definitely, just keep in mind where there was actually already leaks that were dropped on Lorcana today. In fact, or maybe it was yesterday. Anyways, one of those two where they've already announced that the Series 2 is actually coming out in November, and they've already leaked some of the cards, like Raya is going to be one of the top ones coming around. I still want to get my hands on some boosters because I'm on the hunt for the Elsa and the Stitch foil card, personally. But
so I'm just wanting to get some of the first series cards.
Yeah, I want the first series.
I just want some of the first series cards. I don't really care what they are. I just want some of them. But check this out. So for everybody that said this wasn't going to be hot, let me make this a little bigger. 300. Check out the prices of some of these cards are selling for. So I pulled this up on eBay today just to see like if I could find them on the secondary market. You can find them on the secondary market. Some of these things are selling for crazy amounts of money. So this Mickey Mouse Mouseketeer is going to be from Gen Con 2023. This one is in mint condition. It's already been graded, all of that good stuff at $399. Some of these prices I actually looked to see, like, if they were actually if they had sold for that. Some of them had sold for that, some of them have not sold for that. So, when you're looking at this, don't be like, "Oh, well, they're definitely gonna be all selling for that." No,
I
maybe
mean,
not, but
look at that Mickey. That's not even a D23 card. That's just
no.
a hot
No, so
card.
that's what I was gonna talk about next. These cards are cards that have just been recently been pulled. So this Mickey is going to be the Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue. This is the enhanced foil edition to 210 of 204.
Mhm.
There's 210 of these guys. This is 204 of this card. It's 289 right now. These cards, I look.
Now I did find an app too that even in fact actually I got it from some Pokemon collectors, but apparently it does Lorcana now too. If you're doing Lorcana and you want to know the value of your cards, TCG Player. You scan in the card, it'll do it right away.
So for everybody who said that these weren't going to be hot, that this was going to be a flop, that there was no chance that they would ever compete with Pokemon. I think now they have egg on their face.
Now,
Not
mind you,
only do I think they have egg on their face, but I think they're gonna change now, and they're gonna start collecting these
I
because
think both.
Disney didn't just make the cards. Disney made limited run cards
Hmm.
like this Mickey Mouse. It's
Yeah.
only 210 of them out there. Tell me another card company other than Funko who has made limited run cards. Pokemon claims that they're limited run, but limited run to what? They don't tell you what the run of them
Yeah,
are.
and in fact, the
Is it
fact that this guy is telling you exactly that this is card 204 out of
204?
210.
Yes.
That's a true limited.
That is a true limited. Yes, sir. That is 100%. They 100% made it a true limited to the true limited terms. They numbered their product 1 through however many that it was. They followed all of the protocol. This is gonna blow up. And so I went on there. I'm just kind of scrolling. You had
Ooh,
the
that Hades
card
card's
here
on fire.
that's gonna be 290 199 right now. You have King of Olympus, which is going to be, check this out. This one only has 205. So there's 205 of these cards. This is 204 of 205. 329 right now.
Oh, that Hades card is friggin' on fire.
You
And
can't
mind you,
even
it's not just about the foil cards either. There are some cards out there that are hard to get that are extremely powerful if you decide to play the game. Something like the Lilo card. There's a Lilo card and a Rapunzel card that are so extremely powerful. There's not a ton of them that are made. And when you can get these in one of your decks and you play these tournaments, it could be a game changer.
so you can't even like make this stuff up. These cards are going to be hot. I mean, they're going to be really, really, really hot. And
Now, granted, I will give it. It's brand new. A lot of things brand new gets a lot of attention. Now, do I think? I mean, Pokemon is huge worldwide. So I still give it not. That's the non foil, but that's one of the Stitch ones I'm looking for. Anyways, um, in it, I don't think Lorcana is worldwide overall yet. So Pokemon is still the king of the TCGs. But man, Lorcana is definitely making a strong, you know, um, hit to try to get some of these cards. I mean, their accessories are cool, their boxes are cool. Everything about this, Ravensburg is doing a fantastic job with these cards.
so you have the lot of the box of 3, so this is gonna be the starter travel the starter boxes selling for $315. You can't actually find the booster packs on here. I don't think they're selling for, like, crazy amounts of money. I do think
No, and I
I
think those starter boxes are see that one right there, that Lilo, that's up there. It's just fit. We're only worth $15, but that card, if you decide to play the game, is extremely powerful.
Right, so I do think inevitably some of the prices of this stuff is gonna come down
Yes.
because, like I said a second ago, I can't find this stuff anywhere. I think that right now that's a big driving factor in the price of them at this moment. I do believe as they become more readily available, is
The
they're
prices will
more
drop.
easier to get your hands on, the price of some of these are going to trim back down. I also believe that some of these are going to continue to go up. And I mean, so once they're done with the series 1, they're done, right? I mean, so they move to series 2. When series 2 is done, it's done. Then they move to series 3. I mean, so it's not like they plan on continuing to make these cards over and over and over and over. Um, I think Disney's onto something. I've said it from day one. You've said it from day one. I think that this is going to become part of my like videos is just doing the unpacking of these like I
As
did the
soon as I
Pokemon
can get
cards.
my hands on them.
Yeah, as soon as I can get my hands on them, of course,
Sorry, I don't know.
as soon as I'm able to start getting my hands on them. But I look if you're looking to start collecting some cards and you're just wanting to maybe like get something that's not going to depreciate in value overnight, I think that maybe it's a good idea to start looking that way. I mean, I really do. I think that it's a good idea to start looking that way.
Yeah, definitely start getting them, packaging them, and especially if you get some of those top hits, send them out, get them graded. It's just like a comic book. You send a comic book out to get graded, it's only going to increase the value.
Right. So I made a video not too long about.
Hey, Mel's coming on down to Florida tomorrow. Well, she's coming down. She actually has tickets. She was one of the few groups of people that the rest of us, when we were trying to get tickets on the day it released, I couldn't get any. It sold out too fast, but she actually did. So she's actually going to be down at Destination D23 this weekend out at the Contemporary Resort. So,
That
Mel,
is
enjoy yourself. I will be, if you make your way towards Epcot on Sunday, I'll be there.
that is awesome. I made a video not too long ago.
Are they still trying to sell these things?
So I made a video that how eBay was going to be the death of Funko, and so Funko has their own seller's account. You know more about this than I do. They have their own seller account on eBay, right? Is basically how I see this, right? They have their own store on eBay. And in their store, I guess when items are sold, it tells you how many of the items are sold, right?
Yes.
So they launched this Aussie, and this is dumb on so many levels. So many levels this is dumb. So they launched this Aussie solely on eBay. They launched it solely on eBay. They got it out. There's only been, do you see the number of those that's been sold?
Yeah, 2,000. Only
They've
2,000.
only sold 2,000 of those Aussie Pops on eBay. Now, I know that they would probably argue that they put it on their site sometime later, a few days later, and maybe it sold another 10 on their site. Maybe eBay is not the driving force. I know that that could be an argument. I know that that could be said, but check this out. Check this out. So we've on the anime pop, we've had 4,500 of them sold. On the question pop, we've had 1,900 of them sold, and you could see that 1,900, 7,000 seems to be like the going rate, right? Until you get into the R2D2 pop. The R2D2 pop has 127 pops sold on eBay. This is dumb for them to let you know how many of them have been sold, because now you know if it's a super hot item or if it's not. There is no more artificial hype behind this. When I look at the numbers, not going to lie to me.
Yeah.
is the excitement behind this. So that tells me that Jordan sold 7,800. That's a hot pop, right? I could get that one, and most likely in a few years from now, I could sell it for double or maybe even triple
Now,
what I paid
mind you,
for it.
this is only what has been sold through eBay.
Through eBay, yes.
But, if Funko sells it direct or something like that, that's a different, we don't know those numbers.
But look, tell me if I'm right or
It's
wrong.
kind of,
Is
a inkling.
This is a really easy way to discover like how hot something is
Mhm.
you go to their site on eBay. That R2D2 has only sold on eBay 120. What? What? That means that thing is sought after none. It is not sought after at all.
Mm-mm.
No, nobody.
Not even the
Is
hardcore Star Wars collectors are going after it.
the Tinkerbell
79. Although I still think that
what?
Tinkerbell is kind of cool. But here's the thing though. To a certain extent, for this, if I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to go buy that, my initial instinct is going to go to eBay. Unless I hear that it's an eBay exclusive. I didn't even know until right now that eBay was even, Funko was officially selling pops through the marketplace. I didn't
Right.
even know that. My initial, reaction is I'm going to go to Funko's website to go buy that item. So I don't know. I think that's an inkling, but it's also a how many people actually know that you can, other than the Ozzy Osbourne, which was a eBay exclusive.
That was an
How many
eBay
people knew that you could
exclusive.
buy all these items there?
Well, I don't so I agree with you on that level, right? That because it's on eBay, that maybe there's not like a lot of people that know that you can go on eBay, that could buy these. But there's also that side of me, right, that says that they've been on eBay for a while now. They've been pushing eBay. They push eBay as much as they can. They've been putting these pops on eBay. I letting people know how many of them that you've sold is the worst idea that you could ever do, because it's like finding out that Mickey's not real, right?
Yeah,
Because all of a sudden, so let's say that I bought two of the R2D2s because I thought they were going to be hot and I wanted to take one out of the box. I wanted to keep one in the box. So I bought two of them. The day that they sold them super fast, they released it. I bought it. And then a few days later, I realized that they only sold 127 of them.
yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it takes your, again, if you're a person that's big on the value of your pops, yeah, that's going to deflate you a little bit because you're going to go, well, that if they only sold 79, how many do they still have that have been made? You know, that Mickey one would be in that diecast Mickey. I didn't even know they sold it on there, but
so the Rock Pop sold like 1,800 of them. I thought that was pretty impressive. I mean, 1,800 of them on eBay that probably is not getting all of the traction tells me that they probably sold four times that on their site, and that's kind of what I thought the conversion rate should be. Is that they would probably sell four times on their site what they're going to sell here, right? So if they're selling 1,800 here, you could times that times four. That's probably like what they're selling at, because the driving force at the end of the day is going to be their site. And you were 100% correct upon making that statement, right? Thousand percent correct. The Mickey hasn't sold a single one. Has
now
not
I had mind you, it has been up on Funko site for quite a while and still hasn't sold out.
has not
So,
sold a single one on Funko
well,
on eBay.
here's the other thing that makes me kind of laugh because is this also just Funko's way of trying to find more outlets to sell their stuff?
Oh, for
Because
sure. For
because
sure.
because the way I think of it is that's almost a sign of desperation.
For sure.
Because I consider that a sign of desperation only because when we've known that like that I've been debating on that Mickey for a long time. I haven't pulled the on it. I haven't decided to get it yet, but it's never sold out, so I never really worried. But you're trying to sell it on here now, and you haven't sold any, so that means how much you guys
Zero.
got really sitting there in that warehouse. I mean, it's kind of disappointing.
Crazy, right? I mean, so it's crazy that Funko has kind of let you know how bad they're really doing, right? I mean, they kind of came right out and they said, "Hey, check this out. We've only sold 134 Black Panther flaccid pops on eBay." For a company the size of Funko, that is unfathomable on so
Mm-hmm.
many levels. That's all they sold zero diecast Mickeys, but it doesn't get any better when it comes to the diecast. They sold
Look at Thor has already been reduced in price.
58 Thors and they brought the price down to $37. I mean, so
Yeah, but hey, that mini, I guarantee you, stay, don't fall. Bet you mine's more valued. It's got a signature.
that's right. They sold zero of these guys have been sold on eBay, and I just kind of wanted to bring that up and point that out. If you're looking to like kind of figure out how much hype is behind an item, it might be a good idea just to kind of go to Funko's site on eBay, see what they have on there. They have some really old stuff on there. They have some really new stuff on there. They have the Aussie that they kind of dropped as an exclusive that it was, I think that was a nightmare, and they should have never let us know like how many of them sold, because I would venture to say now that less than 10,000 of those guys sold. I would also venture to say that they ordered a minimum of 50,000 of those, which means that they have 40,000 still like sitting in the back somewhere. That is a crazy bad number to like. There's no way that selling 1/10 of them is going to pay for the rest of them. That is a crazy, and I miss the days that Funko made me think things sold out because at least then it kind of like kept the fear of FOMO going and stuff. When you see stuff like this, there is no fear of FOMO. I mean,
Well,
there's
we kind of thought too that hey, something has to be up when we still see nothing selling out on their sites anymore. And yeah, I mean, we had to have figured something at some point.
so what do we think has it? I don't think that their fan base has gotten that far away, right? I don't think that the fan base has gotten that far away. I've kind of been trying to figure out what I think has happened and why Funko has gone down the path that they have. But tell me why you think. What do you think has happened?
Um, I don't know. I think it's a combination of things. I think the consumership has shifted. They they got very greedy during COVID times, because there was a time, 2 3 years in there where everything they exclusive they produced was selling out like crazy because there was a lot of people getting bots and stuff like that. Now I don't really think there's anybody doing bots on Funko at all anymore, and I think that they after that kind of wore down and people just weren't buying them as much, or it's almost like the Funko community within YouTube. COVID kind of came off, and people started dropping off. It's kind of the same thing. Their consumers started dropping off a little bit, by a lot of bad mistakes. People were kind of getting tired of the stupidity of what they're doing. People were seeing value in their pops. They were, wanted to chase, go after true chases out there that actually had some thought put into them. Again, I don't think that Funko has created the value that it once did. Now, doesn't mean they can't come back to that. They definitely can. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but at some point, they need to go back to their roots, and they need to start listening to their consumers about what we want, or even as the collectors alone. Use the YouTube community to your advantage. We're going to tell you what we believe in, that what the community feels. We hear it all the time from many people, within it and stuff like that, other collectors. So you need to drop back down and realize what people want. You're putting out a lot of crap that nobody wants. And, I think also a big thing is the raising of pricing. Even a $3 difference, makes a big point in it. So I saw this coming.
So this is where I'm at with it, and I think that you're right on so many levels. I really do. I think that you're right on so many levels. I think that the economy kind of went down. Instead of Funko listening to their collectors, they just started jamming things down our throat that we didn't want. We seen one Wakanda pop after another Wakanda pop after another Wakanda pop. Nobody was buying these pops, and then they went on to another line that nobody was buying that line, and they just kept producing more and more and more of them. And then they kind of started pushing the old collectors further out by doing the shady stuff that they were doing. It would be one shady ordeal after another when it came to their releases. they just kind of got caught in this one shady deal after another, and they didn't back out of it fast enough, and then they just quit listening to their collectors. They quit listening to the community. They were going to tell us what we should be collecting versus us telling them what they should be making.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that everything you said was what I was
And
thinking.
and, and I agree with Chase. I think the overabundance of too many crazy products. I said it last week or the week before that. Um, be honest with you, get rid of every single one of your lines except for your Funko vinyls and your lounge flies, and only solely focus on that.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop the
they really
games.
need to trim some stuff back.
Stop the
So
popsies. Maybe keep the bitty pops because those are actually kind of popular and those are kind of cool. But all these other things, we just don't want them.
so look, I'm gonna take it all the way back to Funko's board as a general. I don't really. I've looked at their board multiple times, over and over and over, and I've been trying to like find like what their structure is. And their structure is everybody's a chief, everybody's a vice president, everybody's a chief executive officer of something, everybody is a vice president of something. Every member of their board member is a something.
I mean,
To
it's
the
too many
point
people getting bonuses.
that I think it was detrimental to the company, and I still do. I still think it's detrimental to the company, and I can just about prove that it's detrimental to the company with this right here. So for whatever reason, Brian Mariotti is officially going to resign. Right, he's officially resigning from Funko, and I think we kind of all seen it coming. Right, we
Mm-hmm.
we knew that there was something in the air, and we couldn't really like put our finger on it, and so he officially resigned, but check this out. He's the only person in history that resigned and is going to get $50,000 a quarter
Why?
as long as he stays on their advisory role. What? What in what planet do we as a company decide that when someone resigns,
Yeah,
we're
that's
not going to let them resign. We're going to pay them.
well. You completely. I mean, I get because it was funny because when they brought Mariotti back, it was right around the time Disney brought Iger back. Or actually, I think they brought Iger back before they brought Mariotti. Anyways, I understand the idea of hey, let's bring back the guy that was around when we had the most success because the other guy was not doing well at all. But I think we've ventured down this road that, to me, to be honest with you, I don't think he did enough or he had a plan in place enough to restructure this company in the direction it needs to go. Um, and you need to bring a CEO in to do that. Now, the bad part about keeping Mariani and as a board member or something of that nature is any new CEO that comes in is going to be set up for failure because either Mariotti himself or anybody that's close to Mariotti is just going to question everything this person does. So
Yeah,
if you're going to start over, you just need to clean the slate, get rid of him completely, and start over.
but Funko doesn't start over. Even the lady that they had that was a CEO between Mariotti, because Mariotti, I believe Mariotti like did some insider trading and is really going to be in trouble before it's over with. I said it from day one. He did some shady stuff that's going to get him, and that's what I think. All of the like we have to take a step back started because all the lawsuits that were out there, but it. The lady that was the CEO before him stepped back into a chief executive officer of something. He was a chief executive officer director of something. Um, you can't just like keep giving people fancy titles with fancy pay while you're laying off 3 and 4 and 5 and 600 people, and then
Mhm.
you're going to pay this guy. Listen, I'm going to say this again because it makes zero sense. I'm not a very smart person. I never claimed to be. I'm probably a little below average in the grand scheme of life when it comes to intelligence. I would not pay somebody $50,000 a quarter who put in their resignation. I would not keep them as an advisor. How long do you keep this guy as an advisor? Indefinitely? Are they indefinitely going to pay him 50? What does he know about Funko that they're going to pay him $50,000 a quarter as an advisor? And like I said, is that indefinite?
I I don't know. It's got to be some sort of limited contract or maybe a transitional point, I guess. Maybe until they do get a new permanent CEO. I don't know. I mean, my hope and guess would be that this is a transitional period until they find somebody, kind of like, before Chapek took over, Iger was kind of still in the reins or on the board as a transitional period for Chapek to take over. As we all know, the downfalls that went, but I'm hoping it's just a transitional period.
Look, there's something really strange, right? Something really strange that's going on, and I've said it for a while, and I'm going to keep echoing it. There's something really weird that's going on. You don't let people resign, and then you don't pay them. And when I read the article, it doesn't say that there's a contract. It just says that they're going to pay him $50 a month as long as he continues to be in an advisory role for them, which makes zero sense to me when you have 25 members on your board that are all chief executive somethings. Now, all of these chiefs should be able to figure out what this dude's advising y'all on.
Well,
Makes
here's the thing is just what you're talking about. Whatever CEO comes in next, someone needs to come in and trim the fat. And again, I keep trying. I hate trying to continue this as a comparison, but it's exactly what he did. Is Iger came in, noticed there was a lot of top heavy, situations. He knew he had to drop off a crap load of money off their bottom line, and he did not even go after the hourly people. He went after those people at the top end that are making too much money and doing nothing. That's exactly what he needs to do.
Well, look, you're 1,000% correct. They instead of letting all of their employees go, they should have been letting some of these chief executive officers, vice president to presidents. They should have been letting some of these people go. You don't need as many people in these positions as they have. I guarantee you don't. Elon Musk proved it when he fired like 90% of Twitter's like staff overnight. You don't need that many people to run a company. Super, super crazy. Hey, do you remember the Pop Asia stuff, right? You remember that stuff, right?
Yeah, I have one. I've got the tiger Mickey.
Check out the Smurfs, man.
Those are bad.
So these Smurfs are going to be like Pop Asia pops. These guys have already been released. I guess you can go to some sites and find them. I don't hate them. Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
don't hate them. Don't you need a Papa Smurf?
No,
What do
no.
you need a
I don't
Gargamel?
really need. I mean, Smurfs are cool. I watched them back in the day. Not my thing to be. I'm probably more of a Fraggle Rock guy than a Smurf. But yeah, I don't know. I think they could have done. I know they've done Marvel. They've done some Disney. The Smurfs just seem a little weird. I mean, unless
What?
maybe Smurfs are big in Asia at some
Well,
point.
well,
I don't know. I don't
so
get
so when
the.
I started looking this up today, right? So I found there's actually been some Smurf pops that have already been made that sell for big money. These things sell for big money. So there's like a grumpy? What did you call the grumpy one? There's a grumpy one that's like has a chase variant. There's already been some Gargamels, some Papa Smurfs, some all of these Smurfs have already been made, and some of them sell for 3, 4, 5, $600. I mean, so there is a Smurf following somewhere. I'm with you though. I don't know where that is, but
But
there
I
there.
don't. I still don't even think that. I mean, Smurfs to a certain point have a somewhat cult following with the people of our generation, but again, I think you could have found something different. I mean, hell, look at the trends that are going on. There's a big trend right now, and I know that to a certain point they've already done this in many, many years in a GameStop mystery box, but bring it back again. You guys haven't done it since. There's a big like TikTok trend right now of people re-releasing songs of DuckTales and Tailspin and Rescue Rangers and Goofy movie stuff. I mean, hell, I've got Eye to Eye as my ringtone at work. I mean, there. This is what this generation wants, and if that's the generation you're trying to appeal to, the 40 somethings that are buying your stuff, give them what they want. There's a big trend on YouTube, and maybe that's another thing that they're not even paying attention to. Use the abilities that in which you have. If you have these licenses, work on the abilities, because if you're finding that there's trending amount going on to things like Disney with the old school TV shows, put out pops according to those old school TV shows. When was the last time Smurfs even had a movie?
I don't know. Look, I don't know. And look, I'm not against you. I mean, they should go after some more of the trending stuff, but I think that it's probably kind of hard to predict what's going to be trending when it comes to Funko. Just because you've got to try and all of this stuff has to be made in advance, right? I mean, I think it was Andrew on here one day that said that they're at least
Yeah,
5 months, at least 5 months out, right? So it's at least a 5 month adventure. I mean, so they're trying to predict things 5 months out. I think these are really cool. I don't know like how hot they'll be. I would like to get my hands on everything Pop Asia though, because to me, when I'm getting them from those other countries, they feel just different somehow. Like it's more of an exclusive to the United States
yeah, I
because it
do agree. Yeah, that's why I love my Mickey Tiger one so much, because it has the Pop Asia on the sticker, and it's like, whoa,
it feels more exclusive, right? Because
yeah.
it came from Asia, right? It's not probably real like exclusive in Asia, but it feels like it's more of an exclusive here because it came from Asia. I thought these were cool. I could get behind those. Any given day I could get behind those easily. Could get behind those. Did you see that Deion Sanders is coaching football?
Yeah,
Did you
Deion
see that?
Sanders. He coached for Mississippi State the past couple. I think it's Mississippi State. Past couple years. This year he took over for Colorado. Made a big wave because there was a bunch of students that went into the portal in leaving Colorado because of it. But you know, I think, to be honest with you, I think he's a hard nosed coach, and he's no different than like a big Bill Belichick or Nick Saban. He expects a lot. He wants perfection, and he wants you to work hard. And you know, I think people that stay with him are going to be successful. So I'll give him credit.
So what happened? So I know that he went into the football coaching. He took over Colorado. He won the game like 45-43 in an upset. There's some clips of him going out to the middle of the field to shake the coach's hand. The coach just kind of like shrugs him off. Dion kind of pushes him in the Dion fashion. I mean, I was an Atlanta fan my whole life, so I've always been a Dion Sanders fan because he played for Atlanta. I mean, that's where his position was at. He did it for many years before he
I
like
thought
went on to another
that
team.
was a thing
Um,
last year.
no, that was this year. That
That,
was that was I believe it was this year. It was this year. So because that's trending on the news right now as well. Deion Sanders went out there to shake this dude's hand. This dude kind of like shrugged him off. He kind of pushed him. Um, they say that there was some kind of like noise that happened like in the background. Maybe it was last year, but I could have swore that's trending now.
I don't know. That, like I said, I remember hearing something about towards the end of last season, something similar to that happening, where I guess there was some trash talk being done during the game. At the end of the game, the other coach was, basically butthurt, and swagged him off, and he or actually said something, and he took offense to it, and I guess there was some altercation of some sort. But I'm pretty sure that was when he was coaching Mississippi State. I don't think that's been since he's been in Colorado.
No, so the game I'm talking about, they just did their first game. It was Colorado and some other, I don't know who the other team was. They won by 45-43. I mean the coach basically shrugged him off in the middle of the field. I don't know what was said, but there
Uh,
was some kind of beef that had happened there that had caused some kind of bad blood. I mean, I don't know. You know how a lot of that stuff goes. A lot of that stuff is kind of background noise until you like see it for yourself.
yeah.
Menards right now has got a big sale on Funko Pops going on.
Who
So,
is that?
so Menards, you know what Menards is?
We don't have Menards out here.
What do you mean you don't have Menards
We
there?
don't have Menards out here.
Why don't you have a Menards? Save big money at Menards.
No, unfortunately, we don't.
Look how they put them in there.
Yeah, those are trash. There's a couple that I might even look at in there, like the
Yeah.
Pluto, the McDonald's hamburger.
So that was one of the first things I noticed was the $2.99. I said, well, that's pretty
I'd
low
pick up
price.
two, even at $2.99 if the box was slightly damaged. I mean, hell.
The next thing I noticed was the box. I said, oh man, they just threw them in a bin like you'd buy the VHS tapes at Walmart or the CDs. How they just throw them in a big bin, and you just kind of flip through them until
I
you
mean,
like find what
at
you
least
want.
Five Below puts them neatly on a shelf for the most part.
Man, at $2.99, that's an out of box pop. I mean, that's welcome to the out of box collecting world. Here you are today with your boxes all thrown in here because people are going to shuffle through that. Look, there's a good sale if you have a Menards, go check them out. I might actually go look and see what like Menards have. I might actually make like a video on this now, seeing how like damaged the boxes can actually be. This might become an interesting video, to be honest with you. I'm glad y'all gave me that idea. this could be an interesting video on how bad the boxes really are.
So yeah, again, I don't know where and maybe I don't know if Menards is more of a uh middle was it middle country type brand or whatnot. When I was in Vegas and California, never heard of them. When I was in Massachusetts, I don't remember ever hearing them. Florida, we don't have them. I don't know. I doubt Chase has any down south, but I mean, if I did, I would be over there quickly buying up pops for $2.99. Hell, why not?
So I do have one of them not too far from me. I had never ever heard of what a Menards was until I came up north. I didn't know
Was
it,
it like
but
a Walmart?
it's like a almost like the thrift store of Walmart. They have a little bit of everything. They have like they have Home Depot stuff. They have home good stuff. They have apparently Funko Pops in a bin. They have just like the dollar store version of a Walmart basically or a Home Depot or maybe it's like a Chinese store. I don't really know what they are, what they would call themselves, but they're never really high end products there. They're always kind of like the stuff that you would find at the Chinese like thrift shop.
Yeah.
It's like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Home Depot. Like you could get your like almost bay ceiling fan from there. It's like it wants to be a bay ceiling fan, not really a bay ceiling fan, probably like a South Bay or something
So
like that.
it's kind of like the Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight always
Yes,
has cheap tools that really usually end up breaking because they're so cheap. So it's like the Harbor Freight of everything else.
yes, that is 100% is what that is. 100% what that is. It's really strange though. I guess I have to do it now. I have to go and see like what they have at the Save Big Money at Menards and see exactly what they have going on. It's just gonna have to be done. Have to be done. Funko is back. Have you seen their Instagram? How often do you go on Instagram?
Instagram, not as much as I used to. My two go tos right now are like probably TikTok or Facebook, to be honest with you. Um, and then it's Instagram, and then I do Threads. But yeah,
So just the other day, I was praising Funko and how they finally took down all of their pin stuff up top.
oh, it's back.
What did they do? What did they do? They must have heard me, and they said,
Mhm.
"Oh, we got to pin this stuff back up top." And put that stupid stuff back up top. Funko, please stop doing this. I hate this. It to me it looks cheap. It makes me not want to go any further than that. I click on it and I'm like, so I guess as somebody who's not on social media that much, I look at it and I go, oh, well, it's the same stuff. There's nothing new. And then I go to something else. I go to something else. And I hate when I look at something at first glance, it doesn't give me like a true description of what's going on that they force me to like scroll down to see what's going on. Funko, please fix that. It's the dumbest thing that you've done. Please, please, please quit unpinning stuff. Why Instagram ever made that a thing is beyond me. I'm sure that it was for the OnlyFans people so that they could like pin their best picture to lure you in to their OnlyFans pyramid scheme. Please quit
Oh,
doing
that was the next one on that. That's actually kind of cool. I'll give them that. But I've only got the Walt Disney one.
So I'm kind of into this line, but you know how I feel about the trains. I'm not like super into the trains. I don't like the fact that they went Disney, Star Wars, Disney.
Well,
Marvel.
if you look at this, you got to look at this in the way that they did it, because being that I can, being a Disney fan, I can see what they did, because of course Walt is leading the charge. So you got to think, you got Mickey, who that's Disney, that's the epitome of Disney himself. Then you got Star Wars. They bought Star Wars, so then you got to have Darth Vader, who is the most arguably, I think, one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars. Then they have also purchased Pixar, so they've put Woody. Woody's got to be one of the most iconic characters of Pixar, and then you got Marvel. So this is basically an epitome of the four big companies, or the other the four big sections of Disney that they own: Disney, Star Wars, Pixar, Marvel. That's what this is.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I mean, I get what you're saying. It just make different trains. Make different trains. Give me a Marvel
I
train.
really only wanted. I have the engine because I've got Walt.
Give me a Star Wars.
I had to have
train.
everything. I have every single Walt pop.
Give me a Pixar train. Give me a Disney. Give me different trains, because they I don't like it.
I will give
I don't like it. I get what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I just don't.
I will give you something that I just found, that I know if Mel was still in here, I know she'd be all over this because she's big on Disney pin. But this may be the first Disney pin line. Now, I haven't collected Disney pins in a long time. This may be the first Disney pin line I have to go find. Check this out.
Yes, so these are comic covers. Those are pretty hot.
Comic covers, but of course, the characters are replaced with Disney characters and stuff like that. I love this. I love every part about this. I think they're great. Downside is it's at least 8 pins, give or take, and they're probably about $15 a piece.
Oh yeah, something like that. I mean, they're going to be expensive,
but I may have to find these. These things are pretty awesome.
Chase is the best one's Vader. Chase needs to get off his Vader.
Yeah. Well, I mean, see, they're in that line alone. That's something that both me and Chase could agree on. I like the Walt. Mickey's probably close, and I probably should have picked up Mickey, but he's got to have the Vader. So whether or not he has the Walt, he's probably got the Vader. But it's one of those things where, and I think when you're talking, I agree with you. A Pixar train would have been cool, but when this is the Disney 100 line, and they're basically using characters to epitomize the main companies in which they own, I'm not disagreeing with it. I think it's kind of cool.
This doesn't need any comment. This doesn't need any comment.
If they're releasing it, it's being released off of the leaked.
Don't start with your negatives. We're not listening to your negatives.
No, I would say it would have to do with the leaked filming. It would have to do with the upgraded Deadpool outfit, as well as the Wolverine blue and yellow outfit. That's what is going to be my guess. Why it's releasing in the UK? I don't get why it's releasing in the UK.
I don't know, but they're saying that you can already pick these up in Amazon UK. I don't know what they are. There's 2 of them. I'm guessing the same thing you are. It's going to be the Wolverine and the OG Wolverine with the yellow and blue throwback, like animated Wolverine. I love that Wolverine, so I'm excited for this. I don't really know how they're going to do that right though, because if you go back to the throwback Wolverine, he was only like 5 foot tall and 280 pounds.
Wolverine was in the show, the cartoon show. Yes, he was, and technically in the comic books.
In the comic books, yeah.
Short.
Yeah, he's only like I think it was 4'8", if I'm
Yeah.
being completely honest. I think it's like 4'8". I said 5 foot just in
Hugh's
case I
kind of
didn't.
tall.
Yeah, say what?
Hugh Jackman's kind of tall.
Right, and he's also not like 260 pounds. So I love what they're doing. I love that they're going with the throwback Wolverine. Hugh Jackman also said that this would be his last time ever playing Wolverine, that he was
Well,
doing this
mind you,
just.
he already said that
But
once.
this one, they actually had to get him to, like, get on board with it, and I wanna say that it was Ryan Reynolds that, like, really got him on board with it because the way I understand it is in the way I was reading the article is that he really didn't wanna do it again, but he said, "Alright, I'll come do it, like, this last time, but
Then
it won't
that
happen."
means they're giving him some sort of proper either send off or passing of the torch.
That's what I think. I think that they're gonna give him a proper send off because he said, "All right, I'll come do it this last time. I'll come play the role, but I won't ever do it again." To be honest, though, he's getting kind of old for the role. So I mean,
Yes.
to be honest, I mean, if I mean, look, we have at some point we have to be honest with ourselves. He is getting kind of old for the role. I mean, he can't do it much longer. So this is probably his last one.
Quick draw, my
It's
bad. It is gold. My
oh no.
bad.
What do you mean?
It is blue and gold, which is
What do
the
you
actual
mean?
color scheme.
The Wolverine?
The Wolverine outfit is blue and
Not
gold.
yellow. It still looks yellow. Come on, man. In the cartoons, it looked yellow.
The hardcore people are gonna
I
be all
get
over
you.
me.
I get you. That's kind of like Star Trek, not Star Treks. It's Star Treks. I love triggering people with Star Trek. It's Star Trek. In case you didn't know, that's Trek, not Tracks. Star Treks.
Well, that's like when you go into you got to go in a Star Wars movie and tell everyone live long and prosper.
That's right. So there's Chase put over there in the comments. There's going to be 20 new Deadpools. Look, Chase, I'm not listening to your negativity with the 999 Vaders you have in your house that all look exactly the same. One's got the saber in one hand, one's got the saber in the other hand. One of them lights up. One of them that I'm not listening to your negativity. At least with Deadpool, they have Dino Deadpool, Squirrel Deadpool. One of the Deadpools is on a Vespa. One of the Deadpools is in a sexy pose. They're not all holding the saber in a different hand. So I'm not hearing your negativity on this. I let y'all have your moment. This is my moment. I am excited for this. I really am. I am truly, truly, truly excited to see this coming out. I really am. What do you think? Is it really happening?
I mean, we all know the Deadpools and the Funkos are gonna happen, especially with the Wolverine with the newer outfit, the proper outfit he always should have had. But we all know it's gonna happen. Do I think that this is possibly somewhat made up? Yes. I don't think it's. I think this is a pre-leak. I mean, like I said, if anything, it could be Funko capitalizing on the leaked photos, maybe. But even that, I would still say that Marvel's got to have some sort of write-off on these before they release them. And I guarantee you, they're probably writing, creating them for when the movie releases next year. So I don't think this is real.
Well,
I hope to be wrong,
I
but
really
I
hope
don't
that
think
we're
it
going to
is.
see one of those GameStop mystery boxes come back out with these Deadpools. So they did the whole like GameStop mystery box with Deadpool probably like 2 years ago now. I'm thinking that that's when they did them. I hope that we see something similar to that coming back out. I was looking at the artwork that they have on this, and I was like, man, I hope that like that's what we're about to see is another GameStop mystery box unveiled, where some of them are chases, some of them are not chases. I'm excited if that's the case. Look, Chase is right. Everybody's right. They're about to make a hundred more Deadpools now. They're going to make 100 more Wolverines. They're going to make 100 more whatever characters they have in there. That's just what Funko does. But I'm pretty excited to see these lines coming.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick.
What's up?
You're a Star Wars fan, right? There's a few Star Wars fans out here, right?
Yeah, to some extent.
Are you a fan of Happy Meals? I know this is a very weird question.
I used to be.
But would you be upset with let me bring this up.
Bantha burger bag.
A Bantha burger bag. Is this coming from McDonald's?
No, this is Disney.
It really might. If it's coming from McDonald's, this probably really is a Bantha burger. I mean, 'cause
I would assume so. Yes, but I saw this and I was like, oh man, there's some people that are gonna think this is kind of funny. But yes, you can get a bag that is a Bantha burger Happy Meal looking type of bag.
yeah. So look, I'm with it. It's pretty cool. I can't complain.
Oh, don't forget about your 2% Bantha milk. Right with the
I was
tag.
convinced that you were about to like tell me that McDonald's was doing something with Star Wars and they were going to make a Bantha burger, and I figured with their synthetically made meats that
It could be.
they probably got a Bantha burger now. I mean, they decided that they were going to go synthetic, and when they went synthetic, there's no telling. Next thing we know, they're going to have one of those woolly mammoth burgers. You're going to be able to go to McDonald's and get a woolly
Very
mammoth
possible.
synthetic meat burger. Hey, look.
Apparently, we've got some fans that want it. Quick Draw says just take it. Chase is all over it. Yeah, this is interesting. Let me see if they are even showing how much they're selling this thing for.
I'm in a different place with McDonald's.
It is Loungefly, by the way.
It is a Loungefly bag.
It has a Loungefly sticker on or thing on the side of it. It is full Loungefly. That is great. Look at that. Tatooine Farms, Bantha, 2% Bantha milk.
Coming to a McDonald's near you.
See, again, why I say Funko needs to focus on vinyls and Loungeflies. That is probably one of the most creative Loungeflies I have seen. And it's not like a backpack. It's like a handbag. But that is so awesome.
Well, look, Chris, you should get one. You
free range and locally sourced.
You should walk around Disney with it. You'd have a great time with it. You and your Bantha bag. Hey, Bantha meat coming to McDonald's near you. I look, look. I quit eating at McDonald's altogether when I found out that they were going to use synthetic meats and that they didn't have to tell me that they were synthetic. So
you can't say that isn't funny and cool. Oh, $95, by the way.
I think you should go get one. You should get one and unbox it and let us all know what it looks like is what I think you should do. I think you should go get a Bantha bag, unbox the Bantha bag, unbag the Bantha bag from the bag that it came in. From the Disney bag that it's in. You should unbag the Bantha bag, and then you should show us all of the cool zippers and insides of the Bantha bag. That would actually be pretty interesting if you did it right. You could do some really epic B-roll of some really like up close of the zipper as you're unzipping it. Oh, that would actually be really cool, to be honest. I could have a lot of fun with that now that I think about it. I'm clowning, but I'm clowning and like, I think I could pull that off if I wanted to.
And like I said, you got to think. I remember Loungefly is Funko, and every now and then Disney just comes up with some really interesting things that just kind of blows me away. Something I didn't think of, and that's funny. Any Star Wars fan, even if you're a female or a male, is gonna want something like that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I can't say that it's not pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It's if I was going to do that though, because of the price of them, it wouldn't be a sustainable thing for me to do as far as like the channel. And then I would have to get really epic B-roll, so it would take me forever to make the video. They would be pretty cool to have your hands on though, for sure. For sure, that'd be pretty cool when they own.
I mean, I can make a complete fake video about it and pull out, stickers on, actual burgers or something like that out of it and make people think it's actually a real thing.
No, what you do is you go to McDonald's and you get a double cheeseburger, and then you make a Bantha wrap.
Yeah.
A Bantha wrap, and you unwrap that one. You wrap it into the Bantha wrap. Then you take the burger out of the Bantha bag, and you tell them that you got your Bantha burger out of the Bantha bag, and then you eat it and tell everybody what it's like. I mean, that's how you do that. That's how you troll that one.
That's how I get a whole bunch of like, hey, that doesn't exist. What the hell?
They'd be like, man, I don't know if that's real. And then you stand by it at that point that it's 100% authentic, and that you're sorry that their Bantha bag didn't come with a Bantha burger like yours did. that they're just not as cool as you.
Hey.
There's so much like kind of news that's going on like in the backgrounds anymore that I think that sometimes it's hard to like maybe catch all of it. Have you kept up with any of the Burning Man stuff that happened?
I've seen some things that it basically got rained out. I mean, Burning Man's out in the friggin' desert, so it's usually did the big festival for it. But yeah, apparently, everyone brings their RVs down and hangs out, and and especially when it rains out there, the mud doesn't just mud; it's like cake, and it just sticks to everything.
Have you ever been to one? What are they about?
No, I've never. A buddy of mine has been
You
to them
lived out there though, right?
in Vegas.
Yeah, it's in
Is that
Nevada.
actually where it's held?
Yeah, it's Nevada.
Oh, I didn't even know, to be honest, where it's at. I just knew it was in the desert. But no, I don't know. I have a friend that went to it. He used to take pictures of the big art stuff they used to do for it. But no, I've never
What
been
is
to
it?
it
Does
personally.
anybody know what it's about? Anybody in the chat?
It's like a big rave.
What do you mean though? Like it's just a big rave everybody brings their campers to, and they all sit out there and eat mushrooms,
Sort of.
and
It's like a Woodstock rave type
they all
thing.
sit out there and eat magic mushrooms and
I
listen to
mean,
techno music.
you had Steve Aoki.
What?
I just saw a TikTok earlier from him, and he actually showed that like there was like five. He was laughing about it, having fun, but he had literally 5 people standing outside watching his set because everybody else couldn't make it into over to the stage. But it was funny. But yeah, it's a bunch of world famous DJs that come out and perform at these things and stuff like that. Yeah.
I guess I'd never really heard anything about it until this year, and like Quick Draw just brought up that the first thing that like hit the news was they had some protesters that were blocking the road off. The police kind of ran the protesters over. I couldn't even be mad at the police. I'm tired of people blocking roads off myself. So I couldn't even be upset with them for like blowing through their protest, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know how I would react in that situation. If I was somewhere people were protesting, there was a risk of them dragging me out of my car, I might just gas it too. I
Well,
mean, so
here's the thing that one I didn't even hear about that, but
that was the
yeah,
first like part of it hit the news.
Stupid things about that just really annoy me because first of all, Burning Man's been going on for years, right? They go out there, other than this rain thing, this year they've done this every year. No real big news about it. They don't really have any, deaths or anything of that nature. These people go out. Yes, are there probably drugs?
Oh,
Very
for sure.
much so.
Has to be.
But those people are so just chill and they're just doing their own thing. Why do we have to have, what are you protesting? That's what I don't get. What are you what is the point of the protest? Now I'm always for it, something that's injustice to protest against it. But really, why are you going to protest a bunch of stoners that don't really give a shit one way or the other?
Look, I don't know. Let me tell you my problem with a lot of
Doritos or something. I don't know.
So let me tell you. Let me tell you my problem. When people like protest, so people go on petroleum protests, right? They get out in the roads and they block the road because they're a petroleum oil protest, right? Meanwhile, they're causing all of these people to burn so much more petroleum just sitting there than if they would just move out of the way and let them go home. Hey, look, and so your protest is causing use of more petroleum.
Yeah.
This makes zero sense to me. And then on top of that, right? So a lot of times these protests like get violent. So you'll see a trucker or somebody that'll just try and like get through because they have a job and things that they have to do in their life. And then next thing you know, the crowd's ripping the trucker out of the truck and they beat him half to death. So look, I'm over the people that stand in roads. I have this. I seen Chase put over there a minute ago. Stupid games get stupid prizes. Look, I'm 100% behind that. You play stupid games, you end up with stupid prizes. You shouldn't stand in the road. Burning Man is a leak scale in the desert. It's focused. Yeah, I watched a lot of videos about it today. I feel like I know more about Burning Man than I ever knew before because it's all over the news. I watched the whole video inside of Burning Man where they're laughing because they say everybody on the outside, and they actually called us what did they call us? I thought it was so clever. They called us they didn't say the real world. They said Oh god, what did they call it? I can't remember now. I laughed for probably 20 minutes the way they said it. They called us the outside, but it wasn't the outside, right? It was something way more clever than that. But they were saying, the outside says that we're in dire need. None of these people were in dire need. They're having a great time. They're like getting drunk and eating mushrooms and and they're playing in the mud. I mean, they're over there having a great time doing this. It wasn't a disaster to them. It's the desert. If you wait long enough, it's going to dry out anyways. So
Oh, so you are right. This is about fuel. And apparently, I pulled it up because I'm like, why are people protesting? Apparently, famously bad for the environment. In 2020, environmental sustainability report from Burning Man, another 5% comes from gas, diesel burning generators that keeps the lights and air conditioning. What about the thousands of campgrounds around the United States that these people are using generators and gas powered things over there as well? What?
look, I don't know, man. People find the pettiest of things to protest, and so I thought it was about petroleum. I wasn't just going to come out and say that's what it was about, but people find the dumbest things on this planet to
Yeah, they're
protest, and
talking
then they
about
do it
90% of the event's carbon footprint. I'm like, really?
and then they do it in the dumbest of ways. How about instead of protesting something, how about you give me a solution to the problem and then we talk about it? Why do you think that blocking the road and causing me to use more gas sitting there is
Yeah,
how we
idling,
get to
idling.
the solution? Right? I mean, how do you find that is how you get to a solution? I'm going to cause you to burn more petroleum sitting here because I am protesting the use of petrol. What? I mean, I can't,
Well, the thing
make
is,
it make sense for me.
again, I don't find that entirely true either because I mean, TikToks that just come through and people, being at the campgrounds, a lot of them have even said that they had brought solar panels to power up because they didn't bring enough gas with them, but they couldn't use the solar panels because
It's raining.
there was no sun.
It's raining. Make it make sense for me.
So,
Is
what do
is
you think they're going to do in this essence when people try to be more, environmentally friendly? But guess what? There's no in a place that is in a desert that typically is always sun that just happens to have nothing but rain.
that's why I say make it make sense for me. Make it make sense for me because you can't make it make sense for me. You just simply can't. We as a society do some strange stuff, but the Burning Man, if you'll go and look on YouTube, they actually had a great time. I wish that I was there, to be completely honest. I see Simon put a Woodstock. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm a hippie. I'll admit it. I'm the first
but the
one.
thing is, Burning Man has brought over 70,000 people every year, whereas Woodstock did that amount of much, and they end up because they over consumerize the damn thing, and they force the kids to have riots because their areas were trash. And Burning Man's been doing this for years and never had any riots.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man, but anyways, we're gonna end it with that one today for the the food for thought. I agree with you, Simon. Solar
No,
panels don't
to a certain
solar
point.
panels don't work on anything other than campers and
Um,
camping.
Down
Is
here
where
in
solar
Florida, they
panels
work
work
because we get a lot of sun out here. I don't have them on my house. I do eventually plan on, but I've got a buddy of mine who does, and he banks that stuff away. He makes money off the power companies with the solar because how much sun we get out here year round. I think it works in particular environments that like a Florida or something like that. That gets more sun than it does overall overcast. I think they're great. I think they do fantastic, but you have to have the environment for it.
Well, for camping, for RVs, camping, stuff like that, even little, like, small camper vans, solar panels always made sense to me because
Yeah,
you're not pulling that much power,
yeah.
right? I mean, you're not in dire need of that much power, so in those small cases, they make sense. Large scale, solar panel has a long ways to go to make a lot of sense, but one day, with technology, everything is possible. What do you got
Hey,
going on next week?
nothing's ever impossible.
That's
It
right.
just takes
What do you got
time and
going on
patience.
next week?
Not much. Again, we'll be going out to Epcot this weekend to check out the new Moana section. Probably even try some food and wine festival. And if you guys have watched any of the food and wine, which I guarantee most of you haven't, I will not be trying the pickle milkshake
Oh,
that they have out there.
pickle milkshake?
Yep, that is an item this year over at the Muppets booth. They have a pickle milkshake. I'm not a pickle fan to start with, so I'm pretty sure I don't want to try a pickle milkshake. But a lot of other items. Food and wine is always fantastic, and especially since once I eventually do this surgery, I won't be able to partake in these things anymore. I'm going to definitely enjoy myself. See, yeah, there you go, Chase. Sunshine State. That's why.
Pickle milkshake sounds disgusting.
It hasn't gotten the greatest reviews, but it grabs a lot of attention because, I mean, who has a pickle milkshake?
Sounds disgusting. But I will be waiting on that video. I will look forward.
Don't forget, there will be a lot of news coming out this week. If you are a Disney fan or even interested in knowing what they're going to be doing into the Disney parks, there is, of course, Bob Iger and Josh Tomorrow will be on stage. I believe it's 9 a.m. on Saturday. You can stream it live on YouTube. I believe it's already on there for you to do, as well as you can also stream it through Disney itself. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. They're going to have a ton of big news coming out. I will not be live streaming it this year, only because there's just some things that have come about that I couldn't get out of. So, but I would still be watching it, probably be posting up some TikToks about it, and go from there. But it'll be fun if you're a Disney fan and going from there. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. Hope, Mel, if you're still in here, you watch this on the rewind. Enjoy Destination D23 with D23 Expo coming next year in California. I'll probably get a better chance to buy tickets for that, and maybe I'll even try to pull Wayne out there with me.
Oh, you never know. That'll be a lot of fun. That'll definitely be a lot of fun. D23, man, I'll figure out how to come there for D23. You make it happen, and
as long as you got a D23 member friend that can buy tickets for you.
You figure it out, and I'll make it happen, guys. We truly appreciate you. Next week, it's going to be on my channel. We'll
let you know about Halloween. We don't know really what's going on about that. Maybe we'll do a day early. I don't know.
We'll figure it out. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, I'll have a good one.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Sometimes the easiest things to do take the longest amount of time to get done. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, but before we get out of here real quick, guys, don't forget to go check our channel memberships out. These are both very new features to Mr. Techbot and myself, but we're both very proud that we have made it to this point. So go check out our memberships. The link should be down in the description below. If it's not down in the description below, you should be able to go to any one of our videos and it'll be down in the description below. So make sure you go check that out. It's super cool, fun way to get interactive with the channel. You'll get some really cool icons, some really cool emojis you can drop over in that super chat. You can drop over there in that chat so that you can flex on everybody a little bit. And don't forget that any and all super chats will go down in the description after this video is over. Give us 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes to get it down in there. I mean, we might not be able to do it right away. We've got to eat dinner and still hang out with our family, but we truly appreciate all of you guys, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good one.